Welcome to this last part. We are finally here and let's learn how to make narrations in past time. Those one will be they will help us to describe narrations about events in our lives or something that happened in the past. Bienvenidos a la última parte en donde aprenderemos a hacer narraciones en pasado simple sobre nuestras vidas, sobre eventos que pasaron en nuestras vidas y sucesos alrededor nuestro.
Hello and welcome back to the last part of this English course. And to get closer to get finished this part of the course, we are going to mix all the knowledge we have acquired here in this module in order to improve our communicative skills through writing. Bueno, y bienvenidos a esta última parte del curso en donde vamos a unir todo lo que hemos trabajado o todo lo que hemos visto en todos los módulos a través de la comunicación, para mejorar un poco la comunicación, en este caso escrita. We are going to start by making some revision about the time expressions in the past and the connectors. Okay, here we go. Para empezar, vamos a hacer una pequeña revisión de las expresiones en tiempo pasado y algunos conectores que nos van a ser útiles para nuestra redacción. For example, let's begin with number 1. Yesterday, last, and ago. Para comenzar, tenemos yesterday in our language, or in Spanish means, en español, ayer. Last. We use last with some words like this on parentheses. Utilizamos last con unas palabras aquí como unas palabras que tenemos aquí en el paréntesis. Por ejemplo, tenemos week, month, year, weekend, Monday. Y lo utilizo de esta manera. Puedo combinarlo con cualquiera de estos. When I say last week, cuando yo digo la semana pasada, last week, quiero decir la semana pasada. Cuando yo digo last month, el mes pasado. Last year, el año pasado. And last weekend, el fin de semana pasado. And last Monday, el lunes pasado. We can also include all the days of the week. Podemos incluso hacerlo con cualquier día de la semana. Last Saturday, el anterior sábado. Last Sunday, el anterior domingo. And we have the word ago, or the expression ago. Y tenemos la expresión ago. We can do the same. Podemos hacer lo mismo. For example, ago, 2 days ago. Hace 2 días. 2 years ago. Hace 2 años. 2 months ago. Hace 2 meses. Okay, we use those expressions in order to give sense about what we are writing, especially in English. And we have some connectors. Tenemos algunos conectores. They are, there was, había, there was an apple on the table. Había una manzana en la mesa. Or we use there were when we are talking in plural form. There were some apples on the table. Habían algunas manzanas en la mesa. Tenemos suddenly, de repente, suddenly. We have the word or the connector luckily. We use the connector but. Luckily means it's quite similar to this one in here. Fortunately. We have the word fortunately. Is quite similar. We use the word but, pero, with, con. I am with my mother. Estoy con mi mamá. At the shopping center. Estoy con mi mamá en el centro comercial. Because, ¿por qué? When you give a reason. Unfortunately. Lo contrario de luckily unfortunately, desafortunadamente. So, así que. Or we can use, you can use so that, de modo que, okay? And now we are making our narration. We're going to describe, or we're going to make a little narration in the past time about an anecdote, acerca de una anécdota en pasado, or we can create our own story, or let's create a story, o crear una historia in past time in order to play with the verbs, in positive, in negative, using expressions in the past, using connectors. La idea es crear composiciones, narraciones, historias en tiempo pasado, jugar con los verbos, conectores, tiempo pasado en presente, en positivo, en negativo. Perhaps there will be something in a question. Por ahí podemos camuflar alguna pregunta. Okay? And here we go. Y aquí vamos. We can start with a time expression. Podemos empezar con expresión de tiempo. For example, last year, el año pasado, use comma. I went to, or we can say I went camping with my friends to the mountain. So, to the mountain. That's it. Okay. I went camping with my friends to the mountain. Hasta ahí ya tengo la primera oración. El año pasado yo fui a acampar con mis amigos a la montaña. When we arrived to the mountains, cuando llegamos a las montañas, when we arrived to the mountains, we set up our tents. Armamos nuestras carpas, ¿ok? When we arrived to the mountains, we set up our tents. Hasta ahí tenemos, cuando llegamos a la montaña, armamos nuestras carpas. So, after that, we made a fire. Después de eso, hicimos una fogata. And prepared some coffee. The next day, y preparamos un café o algo de café. The next day, we started to explore the mountains. Empezamos, dice, al día siguiente, we started to explore the mountains. Unfortunately, we didn't, desafortunadamente, we didn't take a map and a flash light with us. Desafortunadamente no llevamos un mapa ni una linterna con nosotros. And guess what? Y adivinen qué. And guess what? We got lost. Y adivinen qué. Nos perdimos. We walked around for hours. Caminamos alrededor por horas. So that, de modo que, we got tired. Así que, de modo que, ya estábamos cansados. We got lost. Nos perdimos. We walked around for hours so that we got tired. Caminamos por horas y ya estábamos cansados. Fortunately, after some hours, we found the way back. Después de unas horas caminando, encontramos el camino de regreso. We were lucky. Tuvimos suerte. Because there were some wild animals. Tuvimos suerte. Because there were, habían, because there were some wild animals, and close the narration. Then we went swimming. We went swimming to the river. And we had a nice time y pasamos un tiempo agradable juntos. Together. Okay, this is our narration, and of course there should be an ending. Before going to sleep, we sang or we played some music. The next day, we got back home. Al siguiente día regresamos a casa. It was amazing. Fue asombroso, pero, for the next time, pero para la próxima, we should, deberíamos, careful, pero deberíamos ser cuidadosos para la próxima vez. Okay? I'm putting in red the verbs in simple past. For example, last year, I went camping with my friends to the mountains. Went, el pasado simple de go. Arrived, el pasado simple de arrive, llegar. Set up. Set up means pusimos o arreglamos nuestras carpas. And after that we made. Hicimos una fogata. And prepared. Some coffee. The next day we started to explore the mountains. Unfortunately, we didn't take. Tenemos. Está in simple past. And guess what? Y adivinen qué. We got lost. We walked. Caminamos. We walked around for hours. So that we got tired. We are using again got. Fortunately, after some hours, we found el pasado de encontrar. Encontramos el camino de regreso. We were lucky. Tuvimos suerte. Because there were some wild animals. Then we went. We have again went swimming to the river. And we had, y tuvimos, o pasamos, we had a nice time together. Before going to sleep, we played some music. The next day, we got back home. It was amazing, but for the next time, we should be careful. Okay? For example, in this narration, I am using the time expressions or the connectors. This connector, after that, después de eso, there is another, unfortunately. We have fortunately. Among others. As you can see, we have an example of a narration in past time and how we can use the verbs in order to make you understand how the simple past works, con el fin de hacerle dar una clara idea de cómo utilizamos el pasado. There are some compositions that takes long time, but this is a simple one. Algunas que sí se demoran un poco de tiempo, pero esta es una narración simple. The key To succeed in this, the key to succeed in this narration is to learn verbs in simple past. La clave para avanzar en el pasado simple es saber los verbos con su pasado. Time expressions in the past, expresiones de tiempo en pasado. And we have connectors. In order to understand how they work. Okay, you can try an example at home. And you can put it on practice. Here is an example, and of course you have more examples in the internet. You can go through the internet and practice more. This is the narration time.